So this is my hair about 4 or 5 days after its initial wash. So it's not in too bad of shape. It's kind of greasy at the top, but I've used, what's it called? The dry shampoo. But it definitely feels not moist at the bottom. It's starting to get a little dry. So I'm gonna wash, show you my wash routine that I do that will kind of put everything back. Like, I think if I was in the middle of working throughout the work week, I probably would pull this for another day. But because it's the weekend, I'm going to wash my hair. So we will start with that. So I use the Shea Moisture Low Porosity Shampoo, the protein free, because my hair has low porosity, which means that it doesn't absorb water very well. So I use that, and normally I use the conditioner that goes along with this as well, but I'm actually out of that, so I am using this Shea Moisture Intense Hydration Conditioner. Still sort of the same thing. It's for dry and damaged hair. It's still good for low porosity hair as far as I know, so, and it's been working out fine. So these are the two things that I am going to be using. So I'm going to be doing this in the sink because I'm not, I'm just washing my hair. I'm not in the full shower. So I'm going to be using cold water because that has been the best way that I have seen results. So first I'm just going to use cold water and rinse all my hair. Okay, and then I'm using the shampoo, just putting it on my scalp because I don't want to, this is brand new, because I don't want to dry out my ends. I need to have as much of that moisture in there as possible, so I just take some of this and only use it on my scalp, which it still pretty much cleans the hair because I'm able to rinse it off and it kind of runs through the rest of the hair. Oh. Okay, now that that's good, I'm gonna rinse it. Okay, now using the conditioner. Intense hydration. So normally with this, I am simply focusing on the ends of my hair. Whoops. Focusing on the ends. So I just put a lot of this in here, and then this is the time that I comb my hair. So I don't comb my hair while it's dry ever. I only ever do it when I shower. Well, this conditioner in, I rake my fingers through. You can use a wide tooth comb. Sometimes I do use a wide tooth comb. But that's really only if like my hair is like super duper tangly and I'm having a really hard time getting the knots out. Then I will do that. Which I think today I will be fine. But so I, rake my hands through, make sure it's all detangled. Okay, and so I'm gonna add more because you want your hair really super saturated with the conditioner. And sometimes I like kind of squish it in there a little bit just to make sure that it gets all up in there. And a little bit more. So make sure it's nice in there, really good. Like it's good if you like actually see the white of the conditioner. Like then you really know that your hair is like super saturated with this and it's all good. So my hair is pretty saturated. I don't have any conditioner up here. It's all just down here. And if you're doing it in the shower, it's like basically from the ear down. So now that this is in there, and I usually like to leave it in here for a few minutes, and just kind of push on this bottom part is really good. Okay, and after it's been in there for a few minutes, then you can rinse, which I will do now. Again, using cold water, because cold water helps keep all of that moisture in. Okay. And now, while your hair is still sopping wet, I'm going to be using gel and a leave-in conditioner to put in my hair. So the gel that I'm using is the LA Sport, like the boy gel. And then the leave-in conditioner is this Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner, the Jamaican Black castor oil. So I use a combination of this and that in my hands while my hair is soft and wet. So I will take, a good scoop of that. This stuff is really goopy. And then a good amount of that. Okay, so both of these in my hands, and I'm rubbing them together. And then I'm actually just going to put it in, kind of like I'm putting in conditioner. And I'm just going to rake it through. Only focus on the bottom though, again. You don't need to focus on the top. And then I squish it in like this. Just kind of squish. It's like you're scrunching, but your hair is gonna be like sopping wet, but that's the whole point. You want your hair to be really super wet. And putting this stuff in because see, it's already starting to form its curls. Now, I usually do this twice. It really depends on how much hair you have. You're gonna have to figure out like how much of this you should do because I have done it when there's been too much before, and I've also done it where there's too little. So it's gonna take a second. Sometimes I put it a little bit towards the top, but it's gonna take you a time or two to figure out the amount and how much you should put in. So after I've felt like I've saturated this really super well, I'm just gonna rinse my hands. And get all this out from my sink. Okay, so now I am going to get my towel. Okay, when I'm putting my hair up though, I always put it in a t-shirt. And so one way that you can do that, when I'm upside down, I do it like when I've been rinsing my hair, I do it a little bit differently than when I'm not. So I just have a cotton t-shirt. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have the bottom part of it on this side of my head, and I'm gonna tie it towards the back, and then I'll take the rest of it and get all my hair in there and just kind of tie it up like that. So I'm gonna tie this and then I will come back in a few minutes. Okay, so it has been 10 minutes, but like 5 to 10 minutes, like with this turning on. And so remember that it's a 100%, or it doesn't have to be 100%, but it needs to be a cotton t-shirt because that will help with the frizz. So now that it's been a little bit, I'm going to undo this. My hair is gonna be weird because I did this upside down. Okay, so I'm taking a t-shirt and just kind of squishing out the excess. Okay, so now that I have the gel in there, now I'm just gonna be diffusing it. I try to do it on cool just because then it doesn't damage the hair as much in using heat. So I'm just gonna focus on diffusing just the curls for right now. Okay, so now my hair is about 50% dry. I can feel that it's starting to get hard on some of the parts, which is a good thing. You want that to start with. So now I'm gonna be leaving the house soon, and I don't usually ever have time to dry my hair 100%, so I will leave it about 50% dry, and now I'm going to blow dry my roots because I don't like having flat hair, which is going to kind of tousle these almost pretty much perfect waves. It's gonna mess them up a little bit, but that's the price that I pay for not wanting to have flat hair. So you can choose to just let it dry the rest of the way, or if you have time to diffuse it 100% dry, that's great. But I don't really have that option hardly ever. So I'm going to blow dry my roots, and I will use some heat on that just because I like being able to have some volume. So I'm going to blow dry those and then show you what it looks like after. Okay, and now I'm going to diffuse just a little bit more with a teeny tiny bit of heat for maybe just like a minute or two. Okay, so now my roots have some volume. My hair is still not 100% dry, and it won't be for a while. Usually this is when I would leave the house and let it dry the rest of the way air dry, and it is gonna get a little bit crunchy, especially at the bottom. That's okay. Once it is 100% dry, I use oil to scrunch out the crunch, and I will show you that when it is 100% dry. Okay, so it's been about an hour since I left the house, and sorry the lighting is not super great here, but you can tell that my hair is still pretty crunchy. There's not a whole lot of movement to it. It's pretty stiff, but it is about 95% dry. So what I do now is I take this coconut oil, or I've used argan oil before as well. This is just, I probably am gonna get a different kind, but I'm using this up until I find something better, but so far it hasn't been too bad. So I will normally take some of this in my palm, and I'm going to actually scrunch out, just putting it in my palm, and just like if it was wet, I'm gonna scrunch out all of this crunch. But because I am in the car and I don't have a phone stand, I can't do this and show you at the same time, so I'm just going to do it and then show you what it looks like after. And there you have it. So I took all the oil and I just scrunched out my hair, and now you can kind of tell, not as much maybe in this lighting here, but you can sort of hopefully tell that it's a lot bouncier. It's a lot more like normal hair, just with this curl. So this is pretty much what I do, and I will use oil a lot more as it, if it happens to get frizzy or anything like that. I just rub the oil in my hands and I'm able to scrunch or smooth it over just to kind of help keep the frizz away. But that's sort of what it looks like at the end. I don't know if you can really tell. This lighting is pretty stinking horrible, but that is basically my hair routine.